help countries regain a path towards sustainable development. Under its G20 presidency, South Africa is advancing a comprehensive and multi-pronged approach to debt sustainability, including improving the effectiveness on debt restructurings, supporting liquidity-challenged countries, promoting local currency bond market development, advancing debt transparency, and lastly, exploring innovative debt instruments such as debt for nature swaps, state contingent debt instrument, and climate resilient debt clauses where appropriate. We've also prioritized giving debtor countries a stronger voice. For instance, in collaboration with the African Development Bank, we hosted a side event in March that brought together various African borrower countries to directly share their perspective on debt sustainability with G20 stakeholders. Our focus also includes improving the implementation of the common framework for debt treatments through actions such as publishing a step-by-step guide to the debt restructuring process under the common framework to improve speed and predictability. This is now available on the G20 website. While these steps are important, much more needs to be done. The esteemed speakers joining us today bring very valuable insight and experience. Their contributions will help us build on the progress achieved and define further steps to support debt sustainability for developing nations. With that, we're now starting with our program today. I'll now hand the floor to His Excellency Pedro Sánchez, the President of the Kingdom of Spain, for his keynote address. Over to you, President.
Thank you, ministers. Thank you, authorities. It is truly an honor to participate in this meeting that Spain is co-hosting with South Africa. This event reflects our common determination to work together, find solutions, and promote coordinated action to strengthen global stability and well-being. So let me be clear. International debt architecture needs a profound change. We all agree on that. And more importantly, it needs concrete, effective solutions and foster sustainable development. Debt, if poorly managed, can be a trap that perpetuates poverty, weakens institutions, and limits the ability of countries to respond to crisis. But debt, when properly leveraged through innovative mechanisms, can become a driver for investment, resilience, and stability. That is why Spain has moved from words to action, promoting ambitions and realistic proposals here in Seville, and I would like to share them with all of you today. First, as you know, we have launched the Debt Post-Close Alliance. All countries are exposed to threats, but the most vulnerable ones are the least capable of responding when they strike. If we do not act quickly, what begins as a temporary liquidity problem can spiral into a lasting debt crisis, costlier and harder to resolve, both for debtor countries and for creditors. Suspension clauses are designed to avoid that scenario. They temporarily pause debt service payments in the event of severe disruptions, freeing up resources to protect the population, rebuild infrastructure, and safeguard the social and economic fabric. These clauses already exist, and they work, but their use remains limited inconsistent, and fragmented. That is why Spain has promoted the creation of an alliance that brings together debtor countries, creditors, multilateral banks, the private sector, and the credit rating agencies with a clear goal: to make these clauses more consistent and to encourage their regular inclusion in both public and private loan agreements. So I'm pleased to announce that the alliance already has the backing of key partners such as France, the UK, Canada, Barbados, as well as institutions like the Inter-American Development Bank, the Asian Development Bank, the African Development Bank, CAF, and the European Investment Bank. So I'm really grateful for that support. We are pioneers and champions, but to truly succeed, we need to rally others. Our initiative needs to be global, inclusive, and ambitious, and that is why we invite all of you to join us. Second, Spain has launched an initiative to promote, as you know, debt for sustainable development swaps. This is a powerful instrument to tackle two challenges at once. First, easing debt burdens, and second, redirecting resources towards investments in climate action, sustainable infrastructure, health, education, and so on and so forth. In short, to help advance the Sustainable Development Goals. So we know debt swaps work, but their application is complex and often lacks coherence and scale. That is why we will establish a global debt swap hub within the World Bank. This hub will serve as a platform for sharing experiences, generating knowledge, building technical capacity. It will help create common approaches to swaps, support their design, implementation, and to promote their adoption by both official and private creditors. And we know that we need to go further. So that is why Spain will launch a national facility that will allow up to 60 million euros per year in debt relief for developing countries. Those resources will be reinvested directly and transparently in sustainable development programs, because we believe this is the way forward: practical, measurable, and transformative solutions. But we know this is not enough. We need to address the structural problems that prevent many countries from stabilizing their debt while investing in their future. In this regard, I would like to highlight and support a proposal advocated by the Jubilee Commission, whose representatives join us here today. A multilateral fund that enables countries to buy back their own debt at a discount on secondary markets before it falls into the hands of vulture funds. This idea makes perfect sense. In times of crisis, the sovereign debt of vulnerable countries is sold at significant discounts. Instead of allowing this asset to end up in the hands of speculative investors, we should help and enable countries themselves to repurchase their debt at reduced prices, lightening, of course, their financial burden and freeing up resources for development. Spain supports exploring the creation of this fund, which could be backed by the SDRs to provide loans and favorable terms to eligible countries. This is, I believe, a realistic proposal. It is aligned with social justice and consistent with the goal of building a more resilient and fairer global financial architecture. To conclude, my friends, Excellencies, we are at a moment of real opportunity to transform the way we manage sovereign debt. Marginal adjustments are not enough. We need ambitious, innovative solutions based on international cooperation and solidarity. And my country, Spain, is fully committed to this process, and we bring to concrete proposals to strengthen partnerships and to work side by side with countries like South Africa under your current G20 presidency, so that debt can finally stop being an obstacle and become a tool for development and human dignity. Thank you very much.
Thanks, President Sanchez, for those words of wisdom and the political support for debt sustainability in developing countries. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, may I take this opportunity, and you may leave if you want to, President, but if you want to stay, you're more than welcome to stay. At the right moment, you are at liberty to take leave. May I take this opportunity to ask the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of South Africa, Mr. Ronald Lamula, to deliver the message on behalf of His Excellency, President